Welcome, students. Today, we are going to start with a very interesting chapter here, which is cell. Okay, so cell, you might have already read about it and, you might have a lot of idea. So let's clarify what you have already, read and understood. Okay, so coming to, the topic, first of all, can you tell me or let's discuss what exactly, the walls are made up of? So walls are made up of bricks, right? Similarly, the organism, if we look at the basic unit of it, it is made up of cells. Okay. Now, these cells actually, they can be, so these organisms can be made by just one cell, and one cell will be performing everything. Okay. So in biological classification, if you have, gone through that chapter or that part, so there also I discussed that one cell can perform, digestion, excretion, reproduction, everything. So that cell is unicellular and it can act as a complete organism itself. Okay. But sometimes there is a need of a lot of cells to perform very complex, different kind of structures. So that's why there are multi-cells are involved, or a lot of cells are involved in this. Okay, so this is called as unicellular, this is called as multicellular. Okay, now let's understand today prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells and the difference between them. So first is what makes a cell special. Okay, so every organism, from the smallest bacteria to the largest whale, if you can imagine. Okay, so these all are made up of cells. Okay, and now these are the microscopic structures that serves as both structural framework and functional powerhouse. So basically it provides a complete structure and also it is helping in performing all these functions, right? So that's why it has a functional framework also of life on, you can say, Earth. Okay. Now, scientists have discovered that cells fall into two distinct categories, that is, which we are going to discuss, with each having unique characteristics that determine how organisms are going to grow, how they are going to reproduce, survive, and how they are going to perform different kinds of different functions. Okay. So coming to a prokaryotic cell. So if you look at a prokaryotic cell, again, I have discussed this in my, biological classification topic, that a prokaryotic cell, it doesn't have a proper nucleus. Okay. And the DNA, the genetic material, which is going to hold all the information for the next generation, is going to be lying in the cytoplasm just like that. Okay. So first, let's see. So prokaryotic, pro means, primitive. Okay, let me just write it here. Pro means primitive, and you can say karyon. Okay, karyon means nucleus. So the nucleus is not so advanced here. Okay, and that is why you can say that these are the prokaryotic cells. Where they are found? They are found in bacteria, archaebacteria, and cyanobacteria. So mostly prokaryotic cells, you can say, 99% are going to be found in a bacteria. Okay, a bacteria is not going to have a well-defined nucleus. That's why it is going to have prokaryotic cells only. Okay, so these are the microscopic organisms. We know that, and they have been dominating the planet Earth for a very long time, for billions of years, right? Now, the range of these cells. So these cells are, like I told you, very, very incredibly small. They can be from 1 to 10 micrometer of, long only, diameter only. Okay, roughly 100 times smaller than the width of a human hair. So the width of a human hair, you can imagine, and 100 times if I zoom this part, okay, this part, if I zoom it again, and it looks like this. So 100 times if I divide it, right? So that part would be the back size of a bacteria. So it won't be visible with the naked eye. That is pretty sure, right? Now comes the DNA storage. So genetic material here, this is the main, thing which divides a prokaryotic, or which differentiates a prokaryotic from a eukaryotic. So prokaryotic bacteria, they do not have this, nucleus, well-defined nucleus. Okay, and their nucleus doesn't have a double membrane structure around it. So this is absent. Instead of that, their nucleus is present in the cytoplasm, spirally bounded just like this. So it is spirally present, coiled around, okay, in the cytoplasm, just like that. No protective, nucleus is required. And that nucleus is called as nucleoid region. That area is called as nucleoid region. And this, DNA is called as nucleoid. Okay, clear? So prokaryotic cells reproduce through binary fission. That literally means splitting into the two. So how they will reproduce? Only one cell, right, is there. So one cell will reproduce, like all the genetic material will, be distributed among different kind of cell, and they will split into two cells. They will divide into two cells, and then two new cells will be formed having same kind of genetic material. Okay, that genetic material will be called as nucleoid, not nucleus, nucleoid. Okay, so I hope you learned this term nucleoid. You understand that nucleoid is present in the nucleoid region. Comes now the topic that inside a prokaryotic cell, what exactly is there? So there is plasma membrane, right? So plasma membrane is present here. This plasma membrane is going to control that what is going to enter the cell, the bacteria, and what is going to exit the cell. Okay, so that is the function of a plasma membrane. Then cell is going to give the shape and protect, right? It is going to give the strength and protect basically the whole bacteria. Then the nucleoid region. So nucleoid region is the region where the DNA, circular DNA, the houses of cell circular DNA chromosomes are there. Okay, so first thing is one more important thing which we need to notice. There can be two types of DNA here. One is nucleoid DNA, okay, genetic material, and genetic material. Okay, other DNA could be a plasmid DNA, which is circular, like this. Okay, this is not spirally or coiled. Okay, this DNA is plasmid DNA. This is circular in nature, or in structure, basically, not nature. And it has small rings of extra DNA for special functions. Okay, so some bacteria can be antibiotic resistant. Some bacteria can have some other feature. So this plasmid is very, very, very important part of the prokaryotic cells. And later in biotechnology chapter, you will understand, or whenever you'll study the biotechnology, you'll understand that how this plasmid is very important in, biotechnology. It helps us in, medicinal science or other sciences. So that we will understand later. For now, you can understand that they have some special characteristics. So different plasmids, can have different kind of characteristics to them. Okay. So yeah, just like you, maybe you can paint, right? Your friend can maybe dance. Somebody can play football, right? So they have, even though they are all studying biology, they have their different special features that only they are doing in your class, maybe. Okay. So that's the thing. These, plasmids give the special characters to the bacteria. Okay. Now comes the ribosomes. So ribosomes are common in prokaryotes and eukaryotes. It is of different type though. So here it is 70S. Okay. Only 70S ribosome is present here, not 80S. 80S is present in eukaryotes. And ribosome function is to make protein. So this ribosome, this will make protein. Okay, help in making protein. Now, how it does that, we will understand in, in depth. Okay, and comes the flagella and villi or villi. So these helps in the movement and attachment of the structure. So villi is the smaller structure, you can say like this. Flagella is the much larger structure. There is one more structure sometimes, that is cilia, right? Like this. Cilia is small structure again compared to a flagella. Okay, that also helps in movement and all. So this is overall the structure of prokaryotes. You might have noticed there is no mitochondria, right? No mitochondria. Okay, there is no, you can say, Golgi apparatus. There is no endoplasmic reticulum. I'm not writing the whole thing. No endoplasmic reticulum, right? All these things are not here. That means no cell organelle. Okay, organelles are present. So cell organelles are absent in a prokaryotic cell, that you must understand. Okay. Now, eukaryotic cells. So these are the nature's upgrade. You can imagine it like they are found in, protists and fungi and plants and animals, including a lot of humans, and not lot of, all the humans basically. Okay. And these cells enable the evolution of the complex multicellular. So these cells have a lot of cell organelles. Okay. And every organelle has its own function. Okay, and its size is much bigger than a prokaryotic cell size, and its nucleus is also well developed, well defined. So U means true, actually. U means true. Okay, so true and carry on, sorry, not crayon, carry on means nucleus. Okay, so nucleus, true nucleus, that means nucleus will be properly there and it will be having a cell, nuclear membrane. Okay, so its size is 10 to 100 micrometers, providing the space for all the special structures or the compartment for, different kinds of complex, you can say, organelles to perform its function. Okay, the nucleus, so DNA is present inside the double membranous nuclear envelope, okay, or nuclear membrane, allowing for precise gene regulation. So a process of gene regulation happens. Okay, a formation of different kinds of protein occurs through this gene only. So that's why the nucleus is very well defined here. Specialized organelles are there, like mitochondria, that is the powerhouse of the cell, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus. These helps in the formation of protein and packaging of the protein and different other things. Okay, perform specific functions. Okay. So here you can see the nucleus is there, okay, and inside nucleus there is nucleolus. What is the function of that? That we'll study later. Okay, and that nucleus has this, membrane you can see already. And after that there is endoplasmic, rough endoplasmic reticulum, smooth endoplasmic reticulum. You can see vacuole is also present sometimes in eukaryotes. Sometimes it might be absent as well. Then there is lysosomes, ribosomes, centriole, a lot of Golgi body and cytoplasm is the fluid, right? Mitochondria. So these are the cell organelle, which you can see in a eukaryotic cell. Okay, so the components which are very, very common in eukaryotic cell would be plasma membrane, that helps in entry and exit of different kinds of iron and water and everything else. Okay, so this is the plasma membrane here. Then comes the nucleus. So plasma membrane would be the first, let's say, nucleus is the second. So nucleus is going to, be covered with a nuclear envelope, you can say. And this nucleus will be having DNA and genes, genetic material. Okay, so that will help in the transfer of into the new offsprings or new generation. And also that will help in making the protein as well. Okay, so this is nucleus and it is covered with a nuclear envelope. And here inside that you can find nucleolus also. Okay. And if you remember, the prokaryotes have nucleoid instead of nucleus. And here nucleus is there and inside that nucleolus is there. Nucleolus for ribosome assembly. So it helps in the ribosome assembly. Okay. We will understand what is that in very depth. Okay, later. So this is second and this is third. Then comes the chromatin. So DNA plus protein is present inside here. Okay, DNA plus protein is here. So this is your fourth, you can say, chromatin material. Okay, then comes the, sorry, I'm so sorry. Okay, then comes this cytoplasm. So cytoplasm is nothing. It is filled with a lot of organelles are there. Okay, and it is the fluid part. Okay, so let me just, locate it here. It's not given. Okay, let me just, maybe I'm missing it out right now. So this is the cytoplasm. Okay, so this is the cytoplasm. Right, now comes some parts or some, special organs are there that are present only in a plant cell. Okay, so a plant cell will be having extra protection, that is over the plasma membrane, there will be cell wall. Okay, cell wall will be there, protecting the and giving structure to the plant. Then there are chloroplast. So chloroplast is there. So this is an animal cell, okay, because you can't see a chloroplast here. So chloroplast are these green colored, pigmented, contains the chlorophyll pigment structure that is present in a plant cell. This is nucleus, let's say, nucleus. So this is the chloroplast. Okay, chloroplast. This helps in absorbing the sunlight or the sun, solar energy or solar radiation, and helps in photosynthesis. Okay, so few extra, organs are there. So cell wall is there in plant cell. Chloroplasts are there for photosynthesis. Then central vacuole. So this vacuole, okay, this is nucleus. Nucleus should be here actually. Okay, for a plant cell. I just in a hurry wrote it here, nucleus. So this will be your vacuole. So vacuole is actually in a plant cell if you have to differentiate, no? So in animal cell, this nucleus will be in center. But in a plant cell, this is animal cell, okay? Animal cell. In a plant cell, the nucleus would be not in center but in periphery, because vacuole, big vacuole, central vacuole will be there. Vacuole helps in the storage of food and different other items, okay? Because what happens that plant cell, obviously we are animals, what we do whenever we are hungry or something, we'll just take food and eat it, right? We'll go to fridge, we'll go to supermarket. Okay, animals also hunt, but plants, they store their food whenever needed, then they can use it. So their storage, their refrigerator, if you think it like that, it can be vacuole, okay, which helps in storage of the food. So they need energy all the time. That's why they have a large central vacuole, and nucleus is at the periphery, okay, on the near the boundary, okay, outer side. Now comes the this not outer side, but close to the, you can say, this plasma membrane or cell membrane. Okay, then plasmodesmata connecting the channels. So there is plasmodesmata also present, which connects different channels. Again, that is something we will study in depth. Okay, so these organized compartmentalization in eukaryotic cells allows for incredible, efficiency and specialization. And that's why these cells can help in, together they make tissue and then organ system. And these organ system can, perform different kind of functions for us. Okay. All right. So I hope you understood all this. If you have any doubt, you can feel free to, comment and ask that specific topic. Okay. Now, if we differentiate again, so here prokaryotic cell, the nucleus is absent, and instead of that, a nucleoid region contains nucleoid, okay, which has DNA to it. Okay. Then in eukaryotic cell, present with a nuclear envelope. Then comes the organelles. So no organelles are there except for the ribosomes. Here multiple membrane bound types of organelles are there. Okay. Then typical size would be 1 to 10 micrometer. Here 10 to 100 micrometer. DNA structure in prokaryotic cell would be naked, and it is not covered with a nuclear envelope, right? Now, not like this. So naked and cellular chromosome is also seen. Here the chromosome would be linear. Remember that. Okay. So not chromosome, you can say the DNA would be linear like this. And here the DNA would be circular. Okay, with histone proteins attached to it. So proteins would be there. Now ribosomes. So 70S ribosome, smaller subunit. Here 80S ribosome, the larger subunit of ribosome is there. Cell division by binary fission, cell division in eukaryotes by mitosis and meiosis. These are the process for cell division, which we will study later in our different chapter. Okay, so now try answering these questions. So in a prokaryotic cell, where exactly is the DNA located and what do we call this region? So I think you are pretty sure by this chapter, because I have taught you this in biological classification as well. Okay. Then comes the second question, which is eukaryotic cells have 80S ribosomes in the cytoplasm. Okay. But what type is found in their mitochondria and why? This I haven't taught you. So you can try, figuring it out by somewhere, your NCRTs, and answer me. And if you do not, then we can cover it in our classes. Okay. Then comes the next question. Can you name one prokaryotic organism and one eukaryotic organism you encounter in day-to-day life or every day? Okay. And lastly, a bonus question for you. So which type of cells contains plasmid and what advantage do these structure provide? Okay, so this all I think you can answer easily, except for the second question that you have to find a little bit. Okay, so thank you so much for joining the session. I hope you learned and understood, something here. And yeah, you can contact me through my Urban Pro profile. Take care. Bye-bye.